Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to us once again here at Push or Pass Podcast. It's been a few days, but as always, my name is Dave. To my left, we have my friend and yours,
Jesse.
And once again, we have friend of the show and all around smarter than me, Chris Ryan.
Hi, I'm Chris.
So it's been a few days since we had a cast.
A little bit.
Basically all of October.
Yeah, it's true.
I remembered at one point near the end of the month they said, we didn't record, to which you basically didn't even acknowledge it. So I was like, well, guess we're not recording in October. So that's how that happened.
Well, there was a bunch of other things that happened in the process.
Well, I mean, there was a Spider-Man video game.
That was a big one.
I had to get wisdom teeth removed.
There was that. You got sick.
I got sick. There was some laziness.
Mm-hmm. Not some.
I mean, all of that combined. I'm not saying that I'm a lazy person. I'm saying that
we
are lazy people comparatively.
Also what took up some time was Season 4.
Season 4 happened. And, I think it's cool. So other people think it's cool.
Yeah, needed to let a little bit of time for the dust to settle to really form opinions on the stuff.
There was some dust. There was some dust kicked up.
Yeah. Dust, snow, everything kicked up.
Dust, snow, shade, salt.
So much salt.
Just particulates in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an interesting month of playing through the new stuff. And I will definitely say that some things have changed. Some for the good, some for the bad, some for the shrug. And we'll have to just go from there. Season 4 dropped, about a month and a half ago?
Yeah, it dropped in the middle of
October.
SteamCon US.
SteamCon US?
Yeah.
About a month ago.
Which I did go to SteamCon US. Fun times.
You sure did. You did, and I did not. Because not all of us can have amazing comp time.
Not for everyone.
Not for everyone. Some of us work in the private sector.
No.
But yeah, no, Season 4, we've had a lot of people come up and play.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people at the shop lately.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people come up, and it's been pretty nice. We're still waiting for the myth, the man, the legend, Danny to come back, but I've heard rumor that he might one day.
We're consistently getting like 6 people a week, and that's a good place to be, because you'll get a variety of games against some decent people who are trying to get familiar with the game and test out or re-familiarized with the new rules, I should say, because pretty much everyone we play with has been playing over a year now, and testing out their teams that have been gathering dust on the shelf for over a year because either they were really loving one team or just waiting for another team to get a little nudge, and holy cow, did a lot of teams get nudge upon nudge upward in the power spiral.
Yeah, there have been some real good buffs, and then there's some pretty nerf bats. I for one have enjoyed most of the games just for the basic rules upgrades. That turn 1 momentum sure does help.
It's very helpful.
Especially when you're not receiving the ball.
Yeah, your strikers don't even need momentous tackle anymore in order to be a threat when kicking off to grab the ball and kick a goal again. Like, it's amazing. And strikers who do have a momentous tackle can now be like fully loaded bonus timing. Like, it's a good place to be for them.
The way that the game has been increased in its both speed and killiness, I mean, you basically have to be loaded up, because if you miss that first goal and sacrifice a man for the goal like you normally do, 4 to 2 points, if you miss that and then lose your dude, like, you're up shit's creek.
Yep.
It can seem that way, but I don't know, it's a strange, like, push-pull kind of tempo matching that you just have to monitor at that point.
I don't know, I definitely didn't win the game where I Scatha missed the turn 1 goal and then immediately died thereafter. I definitely did not win that game.
No, but had you successfully completed your 4th attempted goal, you would have won that game?
Yeah, I missed 2 goals that game.
So
It was not good.
You missed that goal, I killed your character, and it was done. So
Yeah.
it's like, I'm not so sure that the first missed goal was all that important, given that you had other chances to miss the goal.
Well,
like it
you know,
was a very good situation for you.
Don't
So,
leave your ball within, like,
Yeah.
15 inches of Skatha.
Yeah, it's...
That's all fine and good, but maybe you should actually make the kick.
yeah.
Shut up.
Well, yeah. And for what it's worth, I need to be better about... Usually I'm pretty good about ball placement on the kick out. Like, that's huge. If your opponent can immediately strike at the ball, it's your own damn fault.
Yeah.
Right? So...
The thing that I've been seeing is that in every game that I've been playing, that I have been receiving, I mean, it happened a lot in Season 3, but now so more than Season 4, I basically have to just deploy my team on the right or left 50% of the board, because people are just kicking towards this friggin' edge of the board. Like, it's a giant like, nobody kicks to the center, everybody's just dumping it to the farthest side, just because it's the farthest away point, and it's really annoying. It's really, really annoying.
Yeah.
Because if you're trying to play a goal-scoring team, like I've been trying at least, you basically, if a player can't get the ball and then kick it back and then somehow dodge back into play, you basically stranded a player for 2 turns.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I've forgotten how to do that because I had Mother's reliable ball catch for so long, but the kick stats in Hunters aren't that long.
Yeah.
They just don't get it there.
They're like... they're kind of average, like average kick in the game as a 6-inch kick, I think. So they're reasonably average. And they've got their couple 8s.
I mean, I don't know. It's just, that sucked. But I mean, otherwise, I mean, I've had a lot of, the games have been much more interesting because they've been faster and shit happens way more aggressively, I would have to say. There's a lot more aggressive nature to the game now.
Yeah. The games are faster. We're not even always playing on clocks, but we're still finishing in under an hour and a half most games. We'll show up at 6 at the shop, and each person will get in 2 games by 9. Like, I do like playing on the clock, but when the opponent doesn't, I just try to keep track of my own time. And it's still like everybody is just finishing real fast.
I mean, we started a game at, 7:15 once, and we were still done before 9.
Yeah.
Like 8:30, 8:45.
Yeah.
A game where you said, "Come on, Dave, let's play." Well, it's fine, and then you proceeded to trounce me the entire time.
I did. I guess, I'm just learning my counterplay, engineers into hunters, engineers into everything, because I'm still trying to convince myself that engineers are still good. I mean, they might be. I'm still figuring it out. It's like a math problem, and I get to paw at it, see how to approach it.
So I played Alchemist when the cards were first released. I played Jasper a couple times. I won less than I lost. Masons are still good, even though Brick died. Masons are still good, and he kicked my goddamn face in.
Yeah, they've got a very new... Did he play the damage transference list, or was it just kind
Yeah,
of
it was
regular?
damage transfer. While I was playing Alchemist, I played Midas once and then Smoke twice.
I see.
So he had condition removal, damage transfer. So basically what you want to do in Smoke is you want to just melt people and like, oh, you're at 9 health, you dead. Because you can do that. You can just say you're at 9 health, you died. Because she can just kill you with her play that says take 3 damage. So, but the problem is that there is so much condition removal, like just in normal game play and in Masons. He was playing both Veteran, Harmony, and Lucky. And I basically couldn't keep conditions on the board. It sucked. And then damage would go away, and then he'd heal, and then I lost the game. Used to be Smoke was like amazing into Masons. Now I don't think so. Like maybe I just had some bad first games, and I haven't played him since because we miss you, Jasper. You've gone away, but I didn't have. The other thing was I didn't have a lot of fun playing them. There's a lot of weird gaps in what a lot of those players do, And as Jasper said after we got done with the third game, he's like, they definitely didn't make Alchemist more fun to play against.
Oh,
He definitely didn't feel very happy playing against them still.
interesting.
Which was one of the things that, Alchemist didn't have a great happy time feeling against them in the old Season 3 with that smoke list. So
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how that would work now, but I basically kind of gave that shit up and then focused on Hunters because I have them painted and done, and I have all the models, and the bear is better, so I always want to play bear.
The
And
bear is so cool. Everybody's
bear is great.
the bear was the reason I bought into Guild Ball in the first place.
I mean, it was Jesse's reason he bought in the Guild Ball in the first
It's
place.
true. I bought because of Bear.
Everybody wants that damn bear,
Because it's a fucking bear.
right?
And it's great. But I switched over to Hunters. I've been playing them ever since, and they're way better than they were last season.
Holy cow! Yeah, they are.
I mean, they were already pretty okay near the end, but there's some shit going on with them. But I switched over to Hunters. Jesse, what are you playing now?
Still with the Brewers.
Okay.
Basically just played Brewers. I've taken Fish to table once.
Have you played the Blacksmiths yet?
I haven't played Blacksmiths yet, no.
Okay. I know you have like 8 teams, so
7
7, whatever. It'll be 8 soon, I'm sure.
Navigators.
I mean, you've been playing mostly Engineers, Chris.
Yes, I've mostly been playing Engineers, secondarily kind of playing my Brewers, my Hunters, and my Blacksmiths. I mean, I've played a lot of Season 4 games. I've probably played about 50 Season 4 games at this point.
I have not played that many games.
Well, part of it's because I got to play about 20 when I was at SteamCon. Like, I got in a lot of games there because, like, there was nothing to do but hang out, play games with strangers, and eat chicken that made you have flaming poo, and then
drink.
And drink, pretty much, and rub elbows with the British people that make this game. So, yeah, I've mostly been playing the Engineers, trying to figure them out. The Brewers are also a lot of fun. I love Mash so much. Every match I bring him, he paddles someone right off the board.
Okay.
People don't expect it, and it's like gluttonous mass and counterattack. How's that? Bam, knockdown, 4-inch push. See you later. He's really cool. Also, the Blacksmiths just do so much damage. And Hunters, as you said, I can't make a bad Hunters list. I've tried. It's just, I don't think I can make a bad Hunters list. The one day you came to the shop, and I was like, here, take 6 Hunter models, and you did. And I was like, I'm going to play the other 6 Hunter models into this other guy. And we both just trounced our opponents. The Hunters are fun and good for, like, when I first got into the game, the Hunters were so bad. It was fun trying to make them work, and for what it's worth, when everybody's new, you can
get with that.
You can get with that, right? But later on, I started realizing that they were missing a little oomph. When I would switch to another team, it felt like suddenly everything worked. Now it's like when I play Hunters, everything works, and when I play my Engineers, I'm like, this is a broken, janky Rube Goldberg machine that I'm still trying to figure out. I will say with the Engineers, Salvo is friggin' amazing. Like, most turns, he's making 4 inches worth of dodge before he even sprints just by doing damage to things. If you have a model who's defense 4 or less, Salvo can probably reliably do 6 damage to it because he's got the knockdown 2 damage and then arrow to the knee twice because he can... Basically, if he's fully loaded, he can buy it once with buy 1 character play with his heroic, and then buy 2 more with his 4 influence. So he's really performing well, and so is Colossus. And those were like the buffs to Salvo and the buffs to Colossus were both the biggest, most obvious hints that they were the ones who were going to play across into the Miners Guild. Like that's kind of where I had been sitting. And lo and behold, they are the ones. So that'll be cool when they show up. But yeah, so Engineers are my thing right now for the most part.
How do you feel that the changes to the models that got a bit of a nerf bat are? I mean, there's Hoist got nerfed, Mother got nerfed, Pin Vice got nerfed.
It's really hard for me to find reasons to take Hoist. I do it every now and then just to have another model that can do a knockdown bolt.
Okay.
It's really not... I can't do the same board placement with him as I did before because he's just going to die since he lost Tough Hide. The Mother change hasn't kept me from using Mother. The Mainspring change has kept me from using Mother because Mainspring is just a free pass every turn. And if I'm ever getting the ball back or ever expecting a kick out, like, the Bug just does things for free, and it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Pin Vice. She only has... Her lowest momentous damage result is on the 4th column, and that is a problem, because if I'm stopping to kill somebody with Pin Vice, I'm taking a severe hit to my tempo in the game. Like, if I want to be racing my opponent at all, I can't be killing. I can't be killing the opponent's model unless I'm with Pin Vice, unless I'm taking them out with some influence on them, or taking them out before they activate, so I get a tempo boost in that way, because I'll be activating one of my models after one of theirs, kind of at the end of the round. Like, that kind of sucks. She gets around and takes the ball like she always did, and the fixing of her character plays by making them no longer do damage to her is great. Like, there's no risk in putting deletion or alternator on herself or any other models anymore, so that's real nice. But her loss of momentous damage dodge results has really kind of left her as something that's a lot more difficult and corner case to use, in my opinion. I had been, for the 2 months prior to Season 4, I had been using Pin Vice almost exclusively just to really get more and more of her flavor. And now that Season 4 came around, I'm almost entirely back on Ballista, because every time I use Pin Vice, I just end up losing the momentum race every turn.
She definitely lost, even though she gained a bunch of like quality of life buffs. She still took that bat to the face in her playbook, and I don't know if they don't want her to be a damage dealer anymore, because she almost always would charge in and murder somebody, because her kit is built to do that.
She had her own article, I believe, or at least when they talked about engineers, they showed her card and talked about removing her momentous damage results and combined results in general, for the most part, to streamline things. But it was the same design philosophy as like Shark and the Fisherman or Corsair and the Fisherman, where they want her getting her momentum off of dodges and tackles and not off of damage results. Mm-hmm. So they try it that way, and, well, I'm still trying to find a way to make her work right, is what I should say. It might be out there, it's just I haven't found it yet. So.
Right. Well, if anyone can make them work, I know you can. You smarter than me, son.
Well, thank you.
Well, I just fix pooters. You put shit on space.
I do that. It's fun.
It's not like you work for a rocket company.
Let's just say the Air and Space Administration of an undisclosed nation. Let's just say that.
Completely undisclosed.
I mean, we can edit it out too. It doesn't really matter.
So,
not like you're a rocket scientist or anything.
So, what are we talking about? So, you were talking about since last cast.
Yeah, I mean, we've been playing a bunch of games. I mean, you were doing engineers. I've been doing hunters. Jesse, you've been playing brewers.
Yep.
Or bruisers, if you've been calling them.
Bruisers, as I've been calling them.
So why don't you speak words about the bruisers?
Bruisers. Where do I start?
How about the things that you like now?
The things that I like now. Well, let's see here. Let's just go through.
How do you like the tapper changes?
Tapper changes. I mean, the -1 influence hurts a little bit.
Right.
Makes him a little harder to play. But then the cat also, like Scum now gets a free character play. Like
Right.
free attack each turn. So it balances each other out if you're taking the cat with Tapper. They
Yeah.
don't have the... it doesn't give him the ability to take an extra influence anymore, but
Right.
never really used it in the first place.
Darn.
Let's see. Esther's. I've used Esther's a couple times. She works.
She works.
She works. I mean,
Did you ever take her in the old game?
I did. And then, like, back then it was just weird because it's like the Brewers never really did board control, and that was kind of her thing.
Mm-hmm.
She'd throw out the aura. She'd throw out the fire. She'd throw out the broken
Blast Earth.
Blast Earth. Now she's just a complete support model. So you can just, each turn do like 2 or 3 influence on her. And she's just going to help the team. Like, the trait she has where characters within 4 inches can use heroic plays without paying momentum.
Yeah, it's called Aria.
It is fantastic.
I mean, it sounds great. I want that.
I've been jamming Esther's. Like, she does things for me.
Yeah, she she works. She really works.
Multiple entendres.
Yes.
Gosh.
What? You set yourself up for that one, man.
I did.
The soothing pulse of the ability just to clear conditions is
great.
also really good. Especially if you're playing against a condition-heavy team like Alchemists.
Yeah, I'm not playing them anymore.
But I have no problem with what Esther's does. Like, she doesn't have, the big buffs anymore, but she has tooled up, she has quick foot, so she can still kind of do the same things.
She can still make Decimate go berserk.
Anybody can make Decimate go berserk. Like, they toned down Decimate, I'm perfectly fine with it, because there's still a ton of ways to get her back up to killing speed.
I mean, she still kills. She just didn't kill at 11. She came down off a Spinal Tap quality.
Yeah.
So,
like, right now she's at a 9. Before she was at a 15.
yeah. Well, yeah. Any number that was pretty high.
My real killer in Season 4 on Brewers has been Hooper.
Hooper is disgusting.
What changed with him?
Well, it's how things changed around him.
Yes.
His playbook did change. He got a 4 damage result at the top of his book. So if he wraps, that's 5. If he happens to be tooled up and he wraps, it's 7. Okay?
Oh.
I used him. Okay, and don't forget, you don't even need to tool him up because he gets +1 damage against knockdown models.
And you're playing Brewers, they're going to be knocked down.
They're going to be knocked down. And he's got a pretty easy to achieve knockdown. I think it's on his second column. And
Sounds right.
with her, he's always using his heroic for free, which gives him +2 dice and clears all his conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Seems all right.
So, right? It's like, I played him in a match against a fellow who had hunters. The guy jammed Minx into Vet Decimate, who I'd used to retrieve the ball. And I'm sitting there looking at, like, the dude had gotten up exactly what he needed with Vet Minx, did a little damage on Decimate, put down traps, had Minx's play up where
Mark for Death.
Mark for Death, where friendlies get to charge it for 1, and I was in charge range of the bear. I was like, okay, I guess I have to activate Hooper, and I walk up there. Hooper was walking +4 speed at the time because I was in Spigot's heroic and had gotten quick foot on him from Esther's. So he was jogging, I think that's an 8-inch jog. All right?
Ooh, that's a 9-inch jog.
9-inch jog. Yeah, jogged 9 inches with my 2-inch stick. And I'm thinking, all I really want to do is knock her down and push her. And I roll, and I got the knockdown on the first hit. I'm great. Okay. Spend my second influence. Hit. I wrap to the 1 column. That's 7 damage. Minx has what, like 12?
Yeah.
Shit. I'm not going to push her. I'm a killer.
Yeah.
Like, by my 3rd attack, dead. And the guy's like, you just 3-shot my model. This game's broken. And I was like, dude, why did you come in on Brewers? You're a hunter. Dance around me. Like, I tried my best not to say get good scrub. Like, right?
Wow.
What can you do when somebody's jamming powerful models and complaining about how they don't work? It's like, no, just practice. You get better. It'll be a better game.
I was playing Joe last week and charged Hooper in. Hooper swung 15 dice.
That's a lot. That's a lot of dice.
That's
Yeah.
a ton of dice. It was like Hooper paid for, heroic. He had the charge going. Model was singled out.
Right.
So you just had
Probably a loved creature in there.
there was just a bunch of things going. So like swinging 15 dice on.
I mean, that's like possibly 3 full wraps. Like if the guy's knocked down on his back.
Potentially.
You're doing like momentous like friggin' 12 in a
I
shot.
think it was charging on a meat hook.
So was she? Oh, and she fell. Did she fall over already?
I think I don't think she was knocked over then, but she was knocked over pretty soon after that.
She died, right? Like, cause she died. Like, she's
she
not
didn't-
that. She doesn't live. Like, she only got a defense, and that's all her numbers.
After that charge, the dice calmed down a little bit, and then they turned a little cold for me. So she stuck around for like a little bit longer than she should have.
Nothing hurts me more than a butcher not dying.
When they're standing there, because she was also in cover,
Oh well, whatever.
that
You had 15 dice.
but she stuck around after that like 1 hit point,
Uh huh.
and it was just waiting for the opportunity, like just gonna.
Couldn't have sneezed on her with Lucky or something,
Yeah, couldn't get the eye gouge in.
right?
So, so Hooper is the beater now.
Yeah.
Decimate sets people up and moves them around.
Yeah.
Like, Decimate with 2 influence will push a model 4 inches so that Hooper can smack them like crazy. Mash remains... I had thought that Mash was no longer going to be a good model to hold the ball, but with resilience and 2-inch melee and the how's that, like, he's very good at holding the ball because you try to tackle it and he's just like glut mass, bam, resilience,
It's still
smack you.
applicable on him. He's fat
Still
as
applicable.
fuck.
Yeah, right, exactly. So, yeah, unless you're using his rookie model, the He-Mash, he's in a He-Man pose and he's all ripped. I guess that's before
He stopped playing football but kept eating like he played football.
Yes.
No, it was before he in the lore. I think it was before he met Esther's, and then they just kind of
And then they just fed each other.
They just loved Deutschland food, right?
Oh sure.
or whatever.
All the schnitzel.
or wherever it comes from. Skaldic Fest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Skaldic Fest? Yeah, definitely not Germans.
So
Right.
anyhow, yeah, he's tight. Who else do you play in your Brewers list?
I've been trying everybody out. I mean, played Decimates in every team I play.
She should be on every team you ever play, basically.
Yeah.
I could see reasons to leave her off, but I don't think that you'd be wrong to have her.
I've used Friday a couple times.
Yep.
Hooper is definitely a go-to. Haven't tried out Lucky yet. I did Mash once. I've done Pipe Pot once.
How do you like the pint pot changes?
I mean, he'll punch somebody, and I didn't get to use him all that much.
Yeah.
He kind of the game I played with him, he kind of stood there and just held people at bay.
He's my favorite model I don't play in a guild I don't play.
He's a cool looking model.
Yeah.
Like, I love everything about him. And they changed Rowdy so he doesn't suffer crowding out, but he's ganging up now.
Yeah.
And he's got a heroic for basically glut mass or
Yep.
or essentially the same thing.
Resilience.
Whatever.
Yeah,
I'm still using those tokens.
Right. I agree. It's just, he's not very gluttonous looking. So.
Oh, have you seen how much beer he brings
Yeah,
beer
right?
to the game? That's a
Yeah.
glutton.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a cool guy.
He's just
depending
one of
what you
those
say.
dudes who, like,
Shows up.
He runs 20 miles and then chugs a hat full of chili.
Right.
Like,
I definitely think he's the beater people want him to be now. I just
he's
don't
crazy.
know. I haven't seen him much, but that's just me. I mean, the Spigot's got some changes.
Spigot's got changed around. Like the base Spigot is no longer the football player that he was. He's now just a fighter.
yeah. I'm using him just to speed people up from my bubble around my captain. And if they do come up to my captain, he can really pound on them.
Yeah.
But he's definitely not the killing missile that he used to be.
Have you guys played Vet Spigot at all?
Vet Spigot is the ball controller of the team.
I've had him played into me.
He's just plays ball. That's
Seems
pretty much
great.
it. Yeah.
He's real good at taking the ball
Yeah.
and dishing it back to his own friends. Like, he's got Ball's Gone, which is great.
Ball's Gone to get around the
Ball's
close
Gone
control.
and close control. Like,
Yeah.
So he gets around your close control and has his own. Like, so good.
How have you guys?
And he's super fast.
Have you guys played Stave, Mr. Lob Barrel?
I have played Stave a few times.
Okay. How do you feel about Stave?
I mean, I kind of miss the ability to do damage with a throw.
I don't know why they just didn't put damage on the damn Lob Barrel ability.
Just because it's just a huge push.
Yeah, the knockdown and push is good enough, in my opinion. It doesn't need damage. It's just that it costs a lot to have him on the board, right? He's still 1-3 for influence.
Yup.
Yeah.
But they did give him his heroic now lets him Lob Barrel for free,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Which is the only way I've really used him.
yeah, so
With
I
Esters.
will put him in my Esters list and try it.
Yeah.
Did you say you tried him?
I've used him with Esters, and he's good for just like, I don't want you positioned around me. Toss.
Perfect. Right?
Pretty much.
Has anyone tried Stoker?
No.
Nah.
He's beautiful, but he's just
He's not making the list.
No. He doesn't have any synergies. I think his only good play is his momentous double push on one. Like, which is, if I'm playing something where I know I need the scrum opened up, maybe that would work. But I think I can find other ways. Decimate does it.
I mean, Decimate basically goes into every list you can think of, so there's really no room for that kind of jank unless you're just playing janks to jank.
Yeah.
You're not bringing Stave or Stoker into the real game.
We'll see what happens.
So that's the Brewers. I mean, that's what you've been playing, and you've been playing that.
Yep.
I've been playing Hunters because they're done. My biggest thing is I have all the models. They're painted and based, and all the things are done, and my special LE models for the Falconers that are done. So I have the entire team here.
Perfect reason to play
Perfect
him.
reason to play them, right?
Yeah.
Also, the bear is better. And
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
all of the models are better. So, for those of you who don't know, because you haven't actually looked at anything for the past month and a half, Hunters are real good.
Yeah.
So Theron didn't really change much, except for the fact that like his snipe is no longer sniped arrow to the knee because it's not once per turn anymore.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking away my tokens, guys.
You can still use those tokens.
I'm not
Everybody
going to
knows
use
what
those
you're
tokens.
doing.
I'm not, I'm not saying there are kickbacks happening for changing things from Muse on Minis, but I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Because I'm conspiracy theorist enough to believe that.
My favorite thing about the bear currently is its playbook being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It's great. I love it.
And then I'll play against people who get 4 hits and they look at the damn card to figure out what they're going to take. It's like, dude, 4 hits, 4 damage. Come on.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to knock you down.
I wasn't talking about you, I don't think.
You have told me what are you looking at your card for, but it's generally because I have
did say that to you.
Well, yeah, but generally it's because you said I'm counterattacking, and I have to
Oh.
weigh the options on whether or not you can probably do
that's
something
important.
terrible to me.
That's important.
Because if there's one thing I wish the knockdown at least had a damage result on it or something.
Yeah.
Like, even if it was non-momentous and it was just, like, 1 damage KD or 2 damage, so that, like, the isolated or the tooled up or whatever damage buffs are on him would then trigger off of that. So even if you're getting a little bit residual damage.
Well, here's the thing. Even if you know I have a counterattack that can nullify the bear, you've got knockdown on, what, 2 hits?
Yeah, it's 2.
Should be on 2 hits. So, or I think you double push on 1.
He's got a great counterattack, too.
Right? So, if you're worried about me counterattacking you, you have lots of ways to mitigate that. And if you gave the bear 2 influence with its free attack, that means like you knock down with the first swing, and then your next 2 swings are probably doing 5 damage each. Like with momentum, it's a pretty good situation for you.
No, it's not a bad situation. It's just one of those things where you have to worry about it. Like the perfect setup is she goes in on a knockdown guy.
Mm-hmm.
But
snared person, don't forget,
Snared,
still has furious damage, right? That's what that's called.
I don't know. It's called Isolated target.
Isolated target. There we go.
It's
Yeah,
the
plus
same-
1
It's
damage.
the same thing the cat has.
Yep.
But yeah, so if the bear has if you're snared in a falcon AoE, if you're in the Harrier and you're isolated, that's +2, which means she has momentous 8 on 6.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a weird level of damage.
And don't forget, the target bleeds.
Yep.
So it's basically 11.
I mean, it's basically 11, except for the fact that either... So, my Cena games have been ones where either she eats the fuck out of people, or fucking, just fucking pooch punts her claw on the ground. Like, stubs her fucking claw and falls over and cries about it.
Yeah.
I've had some weird hot dice, cold dice with her. I mean, for those of you who don't know what her stats look like, go look at them and you can understand what she does. Her mauling ability replaced her bear hug, which I still liked bear hug.
Mauling's great. Mauling is unexpected arrival plus damage. Also bleeding, because I'm pretty sure she gets bleed on anything she damages.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's sick.
It's pretty good.
It's like one step under ground pound.
The difference between, like, her Furious older version with, like, her O2, now she's a 1-2, but she has a free attack instead of a free charge. There's some good, bad, like, economy efficiency there that I'm sure somebody else is like, but Dave, you're wrong because the numbers are blah, 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 and then I don't care because I don't know math that well. But I'm saying it feels different, and I feel like I'm lost something, but I'm sure it's wrong.
When you're not furious
when
anymore?
I'm not furiousing in there. But I definitely feel like... Because the free attack is not a free charge, and the free charge is basically giving me 2 influence worth of shit, whereas the free attack is only giving me 1 influence worth of shit.
Also recall, previously the top of her playbook was momentous 4 or non-momentous 5. Mm-hmm. Now you hit that like halfway through her playbook.
No, I get that. I definitely get that. And I know people are like, but Dave, you're wrong. And I'm like, look, I'm probably wrong. I'm just saying it feels weird.
Well.
But no, she murderizes people.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I kept saying they should have an ability that's just called "It's a fucking bear," and it just says the bear cannot be knocked down or pushed because this bear weighs 2,000 fucking pounds.
Yeah, right.
Like it's a grizzly, right? Like it's pictured as black, but it's probably it's the size of a grizzly essentially, and the way the models are. I mean, I guess it could be anything, but. Yeah.
And don't forget...
Even a large black bear has to weigh, what, 1,200, 1,500 pounds? Yeah. Like, even as we've discussed this in weird other side stories, even Brock Lesnar fighting a bear is not going to move the fucking bear.
Right.
Like, one of the biggest men alive, who's strong as shit, would fucking slam that thing, and it still wouldn't fucking move him.
And you know who knocks down that fucker down? And you know who knocks down the bear on average with 1 influence?
Lots of people.
Boiler, a child.
A child. Yeah, fuck Boiler. Look, I don't like any butchers ever, but fuck Boiler. Fuck Boiler all the time.
Boiler's set up with the pit bull does so much damage.
Don't like talking about butchers because they make me angry.
Yeah.
I did have playing Joe last week. He was like, he's gonna super load Boiler. I'm just like, Boiler dies his fucking turn.
Yeah,
oh, fuck Boiler.
As soon as possible.
It's either one of those things where I'm surprised, because she only has a non-momentous knockdown on 2.
Oh, the bear?
The bear. So, because I'm just going to talk about the bear as much as I can tonight.
Of course.
So, the bear has a non-momentous knockdown on 2, but if you go into somebody that's not basically going to die, they're going to counterattack you and try to push you or knock you down. So, what I'm surprised at is they didn't give her anything that says, like, even... The magical land of Dave Wants Things is the ability that says you can't knock her down.
Oh.
But even if she just had Sturdy, that would be great. Or if she had an ability that's called Bear Paw, that just says all damage results also add a KD like Avarice did.
Oh gosh.
Because that would be good. Like, I mean, look, it's a bear. I don't know how you fight a bear. And in this game of magical, weird shit, Gangs of New York playing rugby, how the fuck a bear charging into you and hitting you does not knock you to the earth? I would fall over if a bear charged at me. I'm not that big compared to fucking 7-foot tall Catalyst.
Well, you know, the designers have some semblance of game balance in mind.
You say this, but we've seen some things.
There's a lot of fantastical things, but they have some semblance of balance in mind. And hey, now the miners get a tank. What will that do? No one knows.
It's defense 0, armor 7 is what most people have thought.
I bet you can knock it down.
How do you knock down that?
The same way that you knock down a bear.
Maybe it's gonna have a special rule. You can only be knocked down on a charge.
Who knows? I
know.
don't expect it to have such prohibited defenses because nothing else in the game does. No. Everything with a strong defense is like once per turn kind of thing.
It's going to be like armor 2 or defense 2, armor 3.
I would love to see it with like special armor plating rule where it gets resilience. It'll probably have resilience, but I would like to see it get resilience like in a pile of tokens, almost like Pint Pot brings beers,
like kind of like
armor plate tokens, and then like every time you hit it, you like chuck one away.
Does it gonna have armor plating like burnished armor plating where it ignores shit?
Now that's probably another way that they could do it, right? Is because he already has the armor plating rule where it's like ignore one character play per turn, or you know, so they have rules that they could already use to apply to this thing, and they should,
right?
Because for what it's worth, I think that they can get to start having too many rules, and I prefer that they just use some common templating and reuse rules in different combinations on different models. That's what I'd like to see with them.
So back to the bear. What? Bear's great.
It is. I love that bear.
I'm just going to talk about my bear all day.
I love that bear. You have 2 bear sculpts now.
I do. I have full bear and I have baby bear. Baby bear is on the painting table. It'll be done eventually. But baby bear is great because I don't know what its card does. Have they released a card for baby bear?
They have. It was at SteamCon. I didn't take one.
So you bought me the model but didn't bring me the fucking card?
I should have gotten you a card. I think when I bought yours, they didn't have the cards available. When I bought mine, they did. Because if you haven't heard from anyone else, SteamCon US wasn't their best day.
I read an article that said we're sad about some stuff. But
that
I thought that referred to
UK.
Was SteamCon US, was that a problem?
They had some supply issues at SteamCon US.
Say it isn't so.
It happens.
What were they short on?
They were short on the decks that people wanted to buy. They were short on they just plain a pallet didn't show up.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of stuff. And I think somebody drove to get it the second day, but by that time everybody had already just found their way into playing other things. So and it's I'm not gonna harp them about it because it hurts no one more than themselves because they are only making money if they're selling models and selling to distributors and stuff, right? So all the setbacks they have, they know more than anyone else that they got to fix it or else they're it's going to start floundering for funding. Right. So back to the bear. Back to the bear. Can I just say,
right?
Okay, talking about bear, talking about other sculpts, right? You got the bear, you got the baby bear. I so badly want that Spirit Druid Bear Cena to either be like a Halloween cosplay Cena or what they're making this Entertainers Guild. Can you think of a better, more stories told about this character than the bear? Come on! Lady dresses up as bear for Entertainers Guild makes perfect sense to me. I think they're going to stick to the, Season 1 captains, but come on. Give us that Spirit Bear sculpt. Just find a way to work it in that it doesn't break the fluff. It's not actually a Spirit Bear, it's just a costume. Come on. It'd be really cool.
I like Ghost Bear idea.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways, bear... So the bear works really well with a lot of different models. I find that Minerva setting up the bear is best case scenario because it's like old school Colossus.
Oh, of course.
It's like old school Colossus where he walks in, knocks down, singled out, done, go.
Yeah, but the bear doesn't even need that.
But it helps a lot.
And it helps a lot. Like, if you want to kill Colossus with the bear, you need that setup.
I did kill Colossus with the bear.
But if you want to kill an average model, just 3 hits with the bear does it.
I mean, you say that.
If you want to do a lot of damage, paw 3 different people and spread out the blood.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bear is cool. I like what he does. I do like the fact that there are ways to threat extend him now.
Oh, yeah.
Between Marked for Death and the snow pile that Skatha puts down her icy patch.
Yeah, now that Skatha's not garbage, like, she's really good. And
I've played Skatha all but one game in this edition. Because Skatha went from garbage time to best time. And the fact that you can...
The old tap-in passes for 4 dice tap-in snowball dodge passes seems good.
Pretty useful.
Yeah, get that bear upfield.
Because I got the bear upfield 4 inches with a snowball pass once. So it moved 4 inches on the dodge. Then it walked onto the snowy ground that she put down.
Yep, so it's an extra 6 inches right there.
And then Skatha walked away and did her thing. And then the next turn it was... Well, do I either pay attention to all the hot garbage going on with the ball, or do I worry about this bear that's about to come hurtling down the field?
Yeah. The bear now is a lot like Catalyst at the beginning of Season 3, where Midas would get Catalyst up the board, and if you had forgotten that Catalyst was going to come up the board on a jog, Catalyst would just start wrecking someone.
Oh, yeah,
it's like it's the same thing with the bear
You'd
now.
activate 4 or 5 of your models, and then Midas would activate second to last and go, okay, Midas or
here comes Catalyst.
Lure of Gold, Catalyst jogs 6 up towards the middle of the pitch, and then you're like, oh wait, he's a 6/8.
Yep.
And then you realize that he's going to go on your line and wreck your day.
Yep.
And that was my favorite trick because I love Catalyst.
Yes.
He's the best model ever on the Alchemists.
Yeah.
But that notwithstanding, he remains, in my humble opinion, Catalyst literally took almost no changes other than like 2 things that were negligible and nobody cares about. Catalyst is still the greatest model and the best model on the Alchemists. Change my mind, you won't. So, but that not being said, bleh, I don't care about them right now. What I care about is the fact that Skatha is fucking great. Mm-hmm. Her speed went up to a 7.9 because she was originally paying her I'm fast tax.
Yep, she had the
5.7.
Every model in that box was taxed on its speed because she had the ice patch.
And now they don't. Now they just go super fast because they cranked all the damage numbers up by 1 million, so they figured, oh, these guys better fucking run faster.
Gotta go fast.
Because now she can, like, quadruple dodge on 1, which is smart.
Yeah, she does such nutty things. You can still shut her down. Like, a model with close control that can either push or dodge easily on 1.
So half the game?
Yeah, like a close control model or a resilience model will shut her down.
I definitely enjoy the fact that on the 1 turn I feated and blessinged myself, and I was like, momentous tackle triple dodge onto a completely different model on the board. And I just kind of walked away from the balls that I was about to take to my face on the ones going. I'm like, well, I'm going to die. I'll just dodge to the fucking mascot and not die. And then I was like, all right, re-bless myself, fight you, dodge 4, and I'm in goal range. Because you can either momentously dodge 4 on her feet, or you can non-momentously dodge 5. Which I feel like is a lot of movement. But I'm okay with it because it's what I do now. So I'm sure one of these days I'm going to fucking hypocrite it up and go, God damn it, I got blown out by Skatha. Because that's what happens. But she's really good now. I mean, her snowball can now gain her a VP, which is ridiculous. I have never used it yet, but I'm sure there'll be a day when I'm at 11 points because I've killed a mascot somehow. Yeah. And a person forgets that I can just create a snowball
and just bash it in.
One forgets. An elephant never forgets. Where's our elephant mascot?
Elephant mascot on the Hunters.
Want badly.
Oh man, that'd be amazing. That's gonna be like that. I'm not gonna tell that story, but it's one of these days I'm gonna be at. It's gonna be like 11:10 or 11:11, and it's gonna be like, I score a goal, I win with
Yeah.
that. And they're not even, I'm be like, I'm going to score this goal and win the game. And they'll be like, what do you mean? The ball's over here. I create a snowball and do a thing. I'll do it one time and then I'll never do it again. Because it's going to be at some place where they don't know that it's a thing. I'll never do it at a SteamCon or a Nationals or AdeptCon or whatever. But I'll do it one time, probably against Jesse, and he'll be like, oh, fuck.
So.
And then get mad at me.
I mean, chances are I don't have Skatha killed first.
I mean, she can come back real far.
Yeah.
She died and then came back and moved 11, so...
Well, you know, I mean, I'm mostly playing Brewers, so she can deal with 2-inch melees and...
I mean, she can dodge 3 to 4, so that's kind of hot.
So who's your typical Hunters lineup?
So my Hunters lineup has been mostly Skatha, Fahad, Minerva, who else? Cena, that is 4 models.
Yep.
And then I have been floundering between taking Ulfer and also Matagi. I feel like that or Minx. So my flexes are.
You bring Minx a lot. Minx is good.
Minx is super decent. So my main 4 have been Skatha, Fahad, Cena, Minerva. And my flex of 2 has been, of the 3 models I've been trying to take, is Minx, Ulfer, and Matagi. Matagi brings another Hunter AoE, or
Harrier
AoE.
Yeah.
And it's great because if you want to set up with Minerva first, you activate, knock down, single out, drop a Harrier, pass turn. And then if they do not do something directly about that issue, their model dies. Now, the problem is that once a model gets moved out of that Harrier AoE, you can't move it. So the good thing is that what I've done in a couple of games is I've been like, activate Minerva first, drop all the bullshit, see how they react.
Yeah, basically activate or die. 2
or 3 activations later, Matagi activates, puts out another Harrier AoE. Now that model is going to die. Because chances are good you cannot deal with 2 Harrier AoEs in a turn. And that's what he can do.
Yeah.
So that's why that's useful. I've been bringing Minx because she does Minx things. I've ironically almost never gotten marked for Death Up. Because people are too afraid of it. She's been either a ball holder because she can drop a trap and be a 5-1 with a 2-inch melee.
Sick.
It's real good. Because she can dodge away on an okay counterattack. She can hold the ball. She can retrieve the ball a little bit. She has Momentous 2 on 2, so she can fight a little bit, especially if there's a Hunter AoE. Or a Harrier. Fucking birds. I'm just going to call them birds. If they're under
the bird AoE.
If they're under the bird AoE, she's got 3 damage, which is fine. But she's she's really efficient at what she does. I'll say that. Like, you can run her efficiently, and she also brings Blessing of the Blessing of the Dude. So you can do a free thing.
The Church of the Dude, the Blessing of the Dude.
The Blessing of the Dude. So you get a free
she
character.
She brings
point.
Blessing of the
Sun Father.
No, she's the... Oh, yeah. Minx brings the Sun Father. Skatha brings the Cold
Moon.
Mama.
Yeah, the Moon Goddess. So she gives out free stuff. So she can make, Matagi use a free Harrier, or she can make someone else use a free thing, which is great. Because I also played Chaska once, and her activating and saying, all right, Chaska, you get a free shotgun blast this turn. And then you're like, well, I now have to stay outside of this many inches of Chaska.
It's a good option.
Free shotgun is the best shotgun. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah,
so I've heard.
Because a shotgun blast is no longer twice a turn. It can only be once per turn. But it is now 6 damage and 4 inches of push. I heard you like to finish off models that are almost dead, because that's what 6 damage does.
Yeah, and if he tossed down a trap, it's 7, because he's going to push him through the trap.
Yeah.
And if they're in a Harrier, it's 8.
Oh, yeah.
You're
not getting real value on that, since you're only doing it once. It's not like
but if they're
Jay Carr stabbing somebody who's in a Harrier.
But if they're in a Harrier and they can shoot them with the 6 damage, it's 7. It still kills. If it kills a model, it gets the job done. I'm never going to argue with it. One guy on the Gubs today, when I asked for questions, said, "Who do you think is going to get nerfed first, Chaska or Scalpel?" And I was sitting here going, "Is Chaska broken?" Because, in my opinion, I don't look at him and go, "It's broken," because you could do 4 damage with him for free last time. You could also do like in Magical Christmas Land. You could Blessing of the Sunfather and Last Light and load them up and do 16.
Well, all right.
So
that
like
seems
you could have done it, but I don't think Chaska's going to get nerfed. I really don't, because my biggest problem with Chaska is I'm always like, I could take Chaska, or I could take this model who does like a whole bunch more things.
So it's hard to say because you haven't used him a whole lot, right?
No,
so it's
I've
maybe
played
you
him,
haven't
but
figured out the special sauce that makes him just extra
There's
nice.
just so many other pieces I want to take.
The thing is, it's just with one influence, he threatens to sprint and boombox people who are up to a foot away from him.
Mm-hmm.
For 6 damage, right? And a model threatening to do 6 damage when you only allocated 1 influence to him at the start of the turn is a big deal.
No, I'm not saying it's not.
Like,
I just don't...
Cena has the same kind of damage potential with 1 influence on him. Like, you put 1 influence on Cena, it might attack you twice and knock you down and do a momentous 5 or 6. Like, it might attack you twice and do momentous 4, momentous 4.
So,
like, and make you bleed.
The guy said Chaska or Scalpel, and I will fully admit that I don't think our only Morticians player has played Scalpel yet. At least not.
He plays Scalpel exclusively.
I've
when
never
he plays
played
Scalpel,
against it,
or when he plays Morticians.
I don't know if Scalpel is that broken.
I've seen him take
Scalpel's sick.
I've seen him take Obulus before, so.
No, he's always taken Obvious before that, but like he almost never took Scalpel in 3.
That does seem like a.
But
the only time I played against when he played Morts, he played Scalpel, and ripped into.
I'm sure that we're missing like a forum post or an article or a Facebook group where they're like, Scalpel is nuts, and why is this happening?
Spirit Bomb.
Look, if Spirit Bomb, she's charging her blazers. So, if you're asking me, is Scalpel or Chaska broken? I'm going to say Scalpel is probably better than Chaska simply because Scalpel's actually a captain.
That's a.
I mean, I don't know.
Funny way
maybe
to
the
put
guy
it.
was just being silly, but I'm not saying you're silly, whoever you are, if you're listening. But I'm saying
Brian Watson.
Brian Watson, because you have Facebook open.
I do.
I do.
Look, Brian, I'm not saying that Chaska's not good. I don't think he is Scalpel level good, and
no.
if there's any sort of nerf to what his shotgun does, I would have to say that if they were going to nerf his shotgun in any way, shape, or form, that they would have to compensate him by buffing him otherwise, because if you nerf his shotgun, you essentially make that model useless. If you nerf his shotgun, you make that model useless.
Nah. You could nerf it to 4 damage and he's still playable instead of 6.
But you don't
like the thing is you haven't played him enough to know
but
what
I
he
wouldn't
can
pay
do.
3 influence for that.
You don't. You heroic onto him. 3 like it costing 3 just means you're rolling 3 dice off of Blessing of the Sunfather. Like
I feel like it's 6 damage on that thing might be high. The butchers exist. Fuck you.
Well, I mean, they're their own issue. Like it seems like there's kind of a tier of teams.
I think
that are
we just talked about the fact
above
that
and ahead the others.
I think we just talked about the fact that like Hooper can like for 1 influence do like 7 damage. So
yeah, Hooper, like he'll knock you down and then he'll slap you. But absolutely, like
look,
he will.
there are guys who can do 6. Like if you're entirely playing hunters to do a free 6 damage, you're doing it wrong because they can do damage otherwise. I don't think Chaska's that broken. I'll probably be called an idiot for it later. Someone out there who's better at the game is going like, you're dumb. Well, probably, but it's fine. That's how I feel. Change my mind.
Well,
tell me I'm wrong on Gubs because I'm wrong.
Tell you what, we'll start playing them into each other and see if he touches you in bad places.
I love the bad touch.
So that seems like a
love the bad touch.
This was a good segue. Dave solicited
the
questions from the audience, and we have a few captive audience
we do have
members.
A few. We have at least 3 people who listen. That's great. I'm happy with that.
4. There was 4 questions,
and not the 3 of us sitting at this table.
Yeah, and not our family or something.
So
that have downloaded it. So that's great. So go ahead and read the other question.
Let's see here. I'll get another one. Outside of the kickoff box, what are some of the most user-friendly teams for a new player?
Probably Butchers.
I'm gonna look these
Butchers
up.
Butchers or Fish, I would say. Because
user-friendly.
Butchers fight
Butchers fight.
But if you want to learn how to play the game of Guild Ball with the ball,
Yeah.
fish are the most straightforward. Team for that.
Yeah.
Well, when he says user-friendly, do you think he means all-inclusive to the one box? Like you buy a box of 6 models, is that 6 good to go? Or is it just, if you have access to all... I guess...
The question was teams and not boxes.
Okay, you're right. Question is teams and not boxes, so...
The most user-friendly, probably fish or butchers.
Yeah, those are, fire and forget.
They are two extremes of this.
Hey, do you want to play
they're
football?
different sides of the same coin.
Yeah,
I would say Masons are not user-friendly because you have to figure out the tricks of the game to get the edge. Like, Masons are very good.
Yeah.
But...
they're very well all-around team.
Yeah.
But until you learn how those models interact with each other...
Yeah.
Then you're gonna
synergies, what they can do.
Yeah, you're gonna get your face kicked in.
Mm-hmm.
I would say fish or butchers. That's just my opinion. That they're both.
Yeah, they're the original demo teams,
right.
And they are as a result the simplest to formulate. Maybe now I would also say the farmers, just because they're kind of reliable damage. Like that every influence is going to become 2 or more damage.
Yeah, you can do some math that way, but I would. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I'm just looking through the other teams.
You guys seem to resonate.
Alchemists, no. Hunters, no. Although, like I said, it's hard to make a bad Hunters lineup. It's still a little.
It's still all about placement.
It's still sophomore level. Like you gotta know some stuff to get going.
Yeah.
Morticians, no fucking way.
No way.
Falconers, not really. I mean,
they're straightforward in that they only kill people. But
They get Falcon Punch. That's
it.
Fun. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, butchers, fish, brewers, but brewers are kickoff box. Navigators as an extension of fish, also I think.
Yeah.
If you're acceptable of like every model on this team has to charge every turn in order to do anything, and oh man, will you do things?
Yeah.
But I would say I wouldn't give that to a new player.
Yeah.
Not a chance.
Yeah. Church, you have to do too many teleport hacks.
Yeah, Church does their thing very, very well, but they've got a lot of text boxes that you have to read and figure out what the hell you're doing.
You're gonna have so much fun with your counter-charging mascot until you realize it's bad to do that.
Well, you gotta do a lot of Pythagorean theorems to figure out how you want to fucking bounce the ball back and forth off of people.
Yeah. So
that's what gave me a headache the one day, but it's still gonna be fun as shit.
Yeah.
So what's the next question?
Jesse, you want to hit the next one?
Let's see here. What is your rating of current top and bottom teams and reasons why?
Ooh.
Current tops and bottom teams.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you right now that from everything that I've heard and read and seen, butchers are crazy strong. They seem to do a pile of damage and are sweeping the nation.
They do kill Captain one activation damage.
Yeah,
they do.
Butchers are real good. I think Morticians are just as good, but I might be skewing my views on that just because it's really difficult for me to come up with a good way for engineers to beat Morticians, whereas I have my engineers have game into Butchers, and my engineers have game into Hunters, which are the other kind of guilds that most people are saying are like top tier. And all those teams are real good. Like Blacksmiths also real good, probably not quite as good, but also real good. It's really hard to say which is best. I'd have to pit those teams against each other and see who comes out on top, and I think it's probably Hunters, like head to head. They just do more in different ways and do as much damage.
Yeah, Butchers, Morticians, Hunters are probably the next level. I don't know if Butchers are I don't know if Hunters are better than Butchers. I have not played against them directly yet in Season 4. Been legitimately dodging Joe. Don't want to play him.
Well, think of it as you've got a captain who's almost as dangerous a ball threat as Shark, and then you have models on your team who can kill people. Like that's what the Hunters are right now, and that's why they're pretty sick. Like
Yeah,
they
got a good
can
all-around
get that
game.
3-0 and they can get the 2 kills for 2-2 without like batting an eye. Meanwhile, the captain's playing for 3-0 by herself. It's really kind of funny. Yeah, I think I do put Hunters above the other 2, but man, it's hard to say. And like, there's a lot of good teams right now.
Yeah.
Like, which is where you want to be. You don't want to see teams lumped down at the bottom, which, off the cuff, I'd say the worst teams out there, probably either Ratcatchers or the Church. Ratcatchers for
really
me.
limited.
Yeah, Church. Well, I mean, they're both limited in the same ways.
Yeah.
Because they're minor guilds. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're... I'm going to go with the caveat of he's probably saying probably not minor guilds.
Oh.
I'm going to theoretically
Worst
state that he
major
wants to
guild.
do that. So, like, if you're going who's the worst guilds, it's fucking Ratcatchers and the minor guilds. Like, it's the Church, it's the Falcons, it's all the guys that can only take a couple models. Because they're very one-dimensional. Like, sure they can win some
Yeah, we
matchups,
can.
but they're not great. Like, if you got a fucking pro guy playing Church...
Yeah.
You'll beat the pants off of people, but if you get shut down and you're what did you put it? Your Rube Goldberg machine stops fucking turning.
Yeah.
Then yeah, the church is gonna fall apart.
So.
But if we're just going by full guilds, I mean, probably the weakest guild.
If it's full guild, I'm going Union. Oddly enough.
It's not a bad.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about how everyone else plays.
I would have. I'm gonna say right now. I'm sorry. Finish your thought.
Yeah, how everybody else plays, and just Union still has the same old stories they had last season. Obviously, with Vet Fangtooth and Season Spigot removed, which were 2 amazing players that they had access to for like 4 months. But yeah, I'm gonna say them. Maybe Fishermen. Like, that's kind of where I'm at. And it's funny because I feel like Fishermen have fallen so far because they don't have that Corsair threat in the same way as they used to.
No.
And I've been seeing people use Corsair to good effect at just shoving people off the board, and maybe that's where things will morph. But right now, early in the season, it just seems like it's easy enough to stop 3 goals from the Fishermen when models die as quickly as they do.
You can definitely delay the 3rd goal pretty hard.
Yeah. Meanwhile, yes. So that's them, and like I feel like the Union doesn't kill or score fast enough. Like,
Probably not, because they didn't get any major, like, super good overhaul.
no.
I mean, there's a couple models that have some generic quality of life buffs, but for the most part, not a lot.
And going from season to season, Steamforge had said that Union was about where they wanted them to be, and that they weren't really getting any buffs, and in not getting buffs, they were essentially going backward a bit because most teams were getting a lot of buffs. So, and it's...
For my mileage, for what I've seen, for what people have talked about, for the lack of seeing them, I'm going to go ahead and say that I think, especially in what I see on cards, I'm going to say Farmers are probably down in the bottom.
Ooh, I forget about them all
Farmers, because we don't fucking nobody plays them.
Nobody's playing them right now.
So, I mean,
I don't know. They're reliable.
Person who, one of the guys that I follow on other podcasts, a guy named Vince, basically threw his Farmers in the trash, from what I understand. He's like,
He didn't do that because they're bad. He did that because they're boring.
Sure, whatever.
That's what he
reason,
told me.
Whatever reason he said, he's like, there was that post where he's like, have they posted the Farmers thing? And like, yep, all right, I'm done with I'm Farmers. I'm like, okay, obviously they're not that good.
Well,
so, and yeah, I looked at their cards. They don't do anything like super flashy or or like you're not making a huge comeback play. It's like
They're just
really
not
nerfed them
interesting,
down.
which is unfortunate because they're some of my favorite looking models.
Yeah.
Right.
Like they were the first guild where Steamforge just went all in on making them look like they're from that profession. Whereas the other ones, they're kind of like, this is a soccer player who's holding a stick.
Yeah.
This is a soccer player who's got a trident. Here they're like, nah, he's got I don't know what you're farming where you're cutting things with 2 saws. But okay, so you got 2 saws on one captain, you got a scythe on the other, you got
Shitty
people.
Wolverine.
Yeah, you got shitty Wolverine with his claws for harvesting rice or whatever.
I'm just
Pretty
gonna
cool.
say that, like, just from everything the lack of farmers, Jesse saying that they were poop. You didn't like them. You told me straight up. You're like,
Farmers?
these are boring and I hate them now.
I never said that.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
I never said that.
Yeah, you did.
I never said that.
Yeah, you did.
I've been looking at them, like, wondering when I'm going to get them to the table. But I have not specifically said that these are boring, and I have no interest in them.
Get them down. We'll see what happens. I think they're in a decent position. I think they can hit hard enough to keep up with the pace of the game. I think they've got good damage results and good plays in general. Their Bushel is entirely new.
She's better now. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a striker and she's got lots of good things going. So I don't know, but it's a worthwhile opinion. So the worst team to you is the team that you haven't seen played. The worst team to me, Union, is the team I haven't seen played much. Like this is common. So Jesse,
Yes.
what team do you think is worse?
I honestly do not have an opinion about this because I've only seen the games that I've been playing, and like I played into Masons once. I've played into what else have I played in?
I will say Masons did not. If anybody thinks that they were nerfed, they still do everything they used to do.
They're strong.
Brick got his foot cut off, but the rest of them are great.
Yeah, the rest of them are doing amazing things.
Yeah, I played in Rat Catchers, and they didn't impress me. Because, you're going to make me sick, but I'm going to knock you down and kick the crap out of you.
Yeah, they gave Miasma that great ability to clear a condition for free.
Yeah.
And they still fall behind when you knock them down.
Yeah.
So it's a real problem for them.
It also falls on the person playing them to remember to use those abilities.
True, let's can we account for player skill? It's not always the easiest thing to do.
So, I've played some games. Butchers are tough. I think Joe and I went 12-8 against them. And that was pure, like, 1 goal and, like, 2 takeouts for me. And then he just got takeouts and, like, 1 goal, I think.
Chris, you went to play in a tournament at Fort Wayne, and you said there were a lot of Butchers players.
Yes, there were. It was a 12-person tournament, and I think there were 5 Butchers players.
And
so they were everywhere.
And what won the event?
Actually, Blacksmiths won the event.
Weird, right?
Yeah.
Because you came in second, correct?
I did.
And you were playing.
I was playing my engineers.
And you played the guy who won the tournament in the very last round?
No, I played another guy. We had pair ups and pair downs.
Oh, okay.
So,
Who did you play? What did you play the most? Butchers?
I played. No, I actually had a reasonable spread of opponents.
Mm-hmm.
I had round 1. I played into Brewers. Round 2, I played into Butchers, and round 3, I played into Hunters. I lost my Butchers match by a narrow margin. I had strong wins against the Brewers and the Hunters. The Hunters player scooped after I started abusing his team.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Bad touch.
I was doing a lot of good things against the Butchers, and it was a pretty tight race. And eventually, he untangled the Gordian knot that I presented him. He solved the puzzle eventually. Also, I was starting to run low on clock. It happens, and normally I'm pretty good about it. But when all of your opponent's models are such threats, you really burn thought time on how to avoid it.
Yeah, it's
right?
a problem.
So, but I had good games in all 3 rounds.
But there was
a lot of butchers.
Butchers being almost half the field. I mean, that's saying something.
Yeah, 2 of the guys there might have been more, but at least 2 of the guys there played butcher on butcher in the first round and in the second round. Like,
that's got to be fun as hell.
Yeah, nobody likes mirror matches, and I don't blame people for playing their butchers now because so many people have had them since the beginning of the game, and they've always been bad-ish. And now they're real good. I shouldn't say they've always been bad-ish because Filet has been strong and you can play them in the right way. It's just now they're kind of extra good.
I'm not blaming anybody for playing them because they're good now. I'm saying, fuck that noise.
Yeah, they're real strong.
Look, I'm not blaming the people. I'm saying I'm not hating the player. I'm hating the game.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, and there's a bit of that game hate to go around, but I'm sure Steamforged will work on that. They're coming out with edits to the game rules on very regular intervals. I expect some adjustments to which models, I don't know, but I expect some adjustments. And I expect their first go through of nerfing to be like probably 6 to 9 models. That's what the first go-through of nerfing was in Season 3. When they did the 3 players out of the Alchemists, and then the 3 players out of the Fishermen, and there were some others, I forget, but that was 1.5 years, 2 years ago by now almost. So I expect some things to get adjusted. I'm not distraught or anything, and I think that as I learn my matchups, I have game into most teams. There's just some that are really riding the razor's edge in terms of trying to control the match. So, let's see. What other questions do we have? We got which gets nerfed first, Chester or Scalpel? Already responded to that one. My opinion, they both get it at the same time. Like, come on. It's going to be in one document, and it's going to be in 3 months in January, probably. I can't confirm that because I'm not a playtester or anything.
Please don't nerf my Chaska. I don't play Scalpel, but
yeah.
Please don't nerf my Chaska. He's
we'll see.
Good.
We'll see what happens. And maybe it's not even Scalpel that gets nerfed. Maybe it's just taking Tooled Up off of Graves, something like that. But some adjustment could be done to either of them. Although, I don't want to jump at it too quickly because, again, we're so early into the season that we're still all trying to figure out solutions. Like, you don't...
Water finds its own level. We're going to get there. Everything will even out.
If we just mashed our models together and we're like, one of us is going to win, it better be a 50-50 if we mash our models together. That's not a good game. Like, it should be, I'm trying to figure out how to approach your team as you're trying to approach my team. And, and we both feel as if we are advantaged and disadvantaged at different points of the game. Like, that's what we want. That's a good game.
So we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
And any other questions on that?
Jesse?
The only other question is really one we can't answer.
Is
that the lore?
Discussing about the draft players?
Yeah. Versus the lore.
Dog, guy who posted that question,
so
I don't have enough time to read their lores right now.
So,
all I will say is that I know who the draft picks were. I know that for Alchemists, one of the teams I play, we got Kami. She's a gunsmith, and she's going to bring game to Smoke, which is great. However, I don't think Smoke is the person who is the weaker of the 2 captains right now. Hunters are getting Edge, which is going to be... Hunter's getting Edge, who is a winger who does drugs to do things. So, I think that's great. I think it's great for the Hunters. Because
I have such a problem with, doing no, go ahead.
He's going to huff beaver anal gland.
I know.
And then, sprint across the field. It's going to be amazing.
And that name just doesn't work for me.
Edge? Yeah, The
It's
name,
funny.
Like, the name, and the character looks edgy, too. So it's...
For those of you who don't know, for the people who don't know what Jesse looks like, because you probably wouldn't, Jesse has a giant X tattooed on his forearm, because he doesn't do the drugs.
Yes, I am like CM Punk. I'm better than you.
I mean, none of us do. We're not that cool, right? Like, I don't.
I mean, I've tried them. I don't do them on the reg. I tried everything. I've tried it once.
I mean, that was another
I don't
state,
think
so it
I've
was
done
different.
a drug
another-
in 10 years.
I mean, that was
but-
another state. That was when I went to Washington and it was legal and it was, like, I could buy it and it wasn't stank weed. But I done it once. It's not like I fucking shoot up heroin every day.
Oh, no.
Wow. Listeners out there, if you shoot up heroin every day, first of all, get some help. Second of all, I'm not judging you. If it's what you like, that's great. Just use responsibly.
So what you're saying?
Yeah, of course,
is,
this is getting edited.
What you're
out,
saying
right?
is heroin's a drug.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Yeah.
there goes my edge.
You know,
so,
whatever.
for context, a nice gentleman, Anthony Vincent Moore, had asked us to talk about the Free Cities draft and talk about how the lore goes in with each of the teams. And, well, we're not lore scholars.
I don't know anything about the lore, really. Jesse probably is the most.
I didn't really follow the draft.
I'm like still reading like through rule book number 1, and then I'm working my way through the rule books and then the PDFs and that kind of stuff.
I'm for those of you who love the lore, I'm a huge lore guy from other games when I've read stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fully support it, but I got like 300 comic books I'm trying to read on top of everything else, so it's like there's to quote a phrase, ain't nobody got time for that.
Oh.
Look,
It's just not worth it for you.
I can read their lore and extrapolate the fact that like Nomad is supposed to be a tricksy striker who's got tricks.
Also looks like Jamie Giblin.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Like, people were like, we want Giblin on our team. And I'm like, whatever, just give me a... After losing a character in the original draft when they broke up the Union and Alchemist got fucking 0,
Right.
I just want a player. So...
They got veteran calculus.
It's not it's not the same.
Yeah, I know.
Look, I've been over this with you. It's not the same.
Yeah.
So, I'm just saying, like, we were eventually going to get... we thought we were going to get Nomad, who's a tricksy striker dude, which is great. And then we didn't get tricksy. We got Gun Person. But Gun Person is going to shoot people and make them bleed and then, I don't know, do a thing.
So instead, engineers get Nomad for their, 4th Trixie striker, probably,
Yeah.
I would have to guess.
That's fine. I mean...
It's fine.
Hunters
Maybe it'll be cool.
Hunters get Edge, which is a winger, which I think is actually pretty cool because... one of the things that the Hunters needed for their ball game was actually somebody to either go retrieve the ball in the middle of the field, like on the edge of the field, or somebody to walk up to the ball holder, steal it, and pass it to like either Ulfa or Skatha. So like if she can do something like that and round out like the Skatha, Ulfa, Egret combo of like we want to be a goal team somehow
Right.
bullshit. Like if she does that, fantastic. I'm all about it. A lot of the other players, like I know Knuckles went to the
Fisherman.
The fisherman,
Yeah.
even though the Cogs were trying to get him so bad, and then they failed somehow, and I don't know what happened.
There was really no effort on the engineers' part in the draft, and I could have posted games. Like I said, I played 20 games at SteamCon. I could have posted 20 games for the engineers for something, but I wasn't really into it. Like I was ready to sit back and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
And
more or less, that's what I did. Just watch a little bit, see what's going on.
Yeah. When they release the cards, I will be more than happy to discuss every single one of them. But,
yeah.
I mean...
Right, they don't get stats until they go on the team, so
Exactly,
it's
right.
not that big of a deal.
Yeah,
Everybody's getting candy, so...
They build the character around the team. They don't build
At the very least, dude who posted the question, I don't know if we have time to talk about it today.
Yeah.
Maybe next cast we'll go into it if it's a slow week, but I'd have to make notes about everybody. Like, if it says they're going to be a striker, I'm betting you can like look at Flint and then extrapolate.
For the comparison of lore, I'm not gonna look up the lore.
All I know
I have
is-
some friends who do that.
Yeah,
That's not
all
my
I know
thing,
is
but-
that Amber was a brewer and now isn't a brewer. And
Now she's a farmer.
The one who I
Yeah.
think might have the capability of shaking things up the most is probably Cutlass going to the blacksmiths, because the blacksmiths getting a goalie is a big fucking deal.
Yeah, it really is, because
So-
you could at least wander around those schmucks and like get goals, and as your favorite German player says, score three
Yeah.
goals, win the game.
Yeah.
And that's, you could do that, and I've done that many times against blacksmiths. I take my beats, I lose a couple of guys, but I score 3 goals and wins the game.
Yeah.
And now that they have a goalie, if the goalie is at least compound-ish, if not like tenderizer, like
We've got
if the thing gives any counter charge or target number problems, or just the fact that it's sitting there will be an issue.
or even Skulk a Skulk goalie would do well in blacksmiths.
I don't
Like
want a
they're-
skull goalie in blacksmith.
Yeah. Like
I
there's
so
lots of-
don't want that.
Or maybe even Steamforge has another way of doing it.
Yeah.
If you recall, Veteran Velocity used to be a goalie. She was like goalie light. So
she did.
like, even something
yeah.
like that could be pretty cool. So
But
we'll
no,
see.
That would be neat. But it makes me
the
sad that they're gonna have a goalie.
Most hilarious placement would probably be Flea with the Brewers, the last place.
What if
yeah.
Flea? I don't even know what Flea.
Flea is the one who's supposed to buff or work with mascots really well. And if you think about it, the Brewers have got really good mascots.
Yeah.
Scum has always been nuts in terms of what can
Oh.
damage and stuff. And
Which is funny because Flea could have definitely worked in Hunters with
Yeah.
the cat and the dog.
right?
The cat,
Well,
especially since the cat can
Oh, yeah.
go fuck.
Yeah,
up.
or Flea would have been. Flea would have. The real funny thing is if Flea would have gone into the blacksmiths. Now that would have been awesome.
That would have been fucked up.
Because there is no mascot. Just I
Yes.
don't know. Just over there feeding apples to Judgment. That's the name of Ferris's horse. Just feeding apples to Judgment.
Gotta
Being
feed
like
that
someday, friend,
Shiny-
make you a pretty horse.
Shiny
right?
Eloy's knives.
Shining
Yeah.
alloys knives.
Alloy
Yeah.
just looks like angrily.
Yeah.
And if I had to do it all over again and really put effort into something, maybe I would have liked to see a coach and engineers. That could be fun, just because it's a model type that's just not on our
wow,
stuff
yeah.
and would be cool. But you know what? I just think things are gonna keep coming out little by little, and we got little flavors added to each team as it goes on.
Did they have any idea when they would actually try to release these models?
It's now for a few months.
They-
I think they said May or something. Like, is the
I would be
soonest?
surprised
Did
if
they
it's
even
as
have an
early
estimate?
as May. I would expect
think
previews in May.
They
So basically it's Gen Con.
well,
well,
think
they-
about it.
there's somebody did a brief synopsis of the speech at SteamCon, and they listed like quarter 2 2019.
Okay. So
Yeah, and think about in context.
Yeah, May-ish. So
Yeah, think like last year we had the Union in Change, Union in Chains. It ended at SteamCon, right? Or terminated at SteamCon. Half the models were already sculpted because they were the bait for you to vote and stuff,
Yeah.
and those didn't come out until May. All right, and then the loser teams came out 2 months later. Okay, or 1 month later in June. So, and those were teams for which they already had sculpts half done. So these, where they, haven't showed us anything,
right.
probably the same time of year at earliest, probably
That's
later.
Probably true. Like,
So,
I mean, they could give us cards anytime, but if they give them to us before Gen Con of next year, I'll be happy.
yeah.
Because
So-
if there's one thing I've learned about when shit comes out from other games, you either release your stuff on time and it comes out, or you're just like, whoops, Gen Con release. Mm-hmm. And that's how it works, because that's how game companies work. Not saying it's how every game company works. I'm saying if your shit is slated for May and it's fucked up, it's just coming out at Gen Con. That's just how shit works.
Yeah.
So anyways, there's that.
So
There's no more questions?
that's not user Q&A, listener Q&A.
Listener Q&A.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for asking questions.
Thank you
Well,
for the 3 fans that we actually have.
I was super excited that people asked questions at all. So
Yeah.
I'm very
thank you.
thrilled.
That was fun.
We have people who listen. Thank you so much. I think that's the end of my addendums here.
I
So-
mean, I got
yeah.
nothing.
So
I got nothing
just,
else. So
clip out this.
with
and then,
that, I think we're gonna wrap up the cast here. We're definitely gonna have this happen. Hopefully, more than once every other month now.
Hopefully. I
we
mean,
should have another one either late November or probably early December, if depending on unless stuff gets crazy. For me specifically, I work for the
Retail
technology
IT.
side. I work in retail IT. I work for the technology side of a major department store. So I don't know if everything is going to explode in my life in 2 weeks, but probably will because it
It's
did
going
last
to.
year. So I'll be pretty busy. Jesse is the same because his job isn't going to change in December like
No.
mine is, and your job is actually going to go down in top problems, right, in December? Because you have less.
I
shit to
have
do?
sporadic. I have preparations for spaceships. So
There you go.
I have to make sure that the bridge is clean and get the warp core online.
There
you
go.
gotta make sure the Enterprise looks just like an Apple store.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
You have
Yeah.
you have to realign the power converters.
No, I have some things coming through the lab that I'll have to.
So I definitely
do
at least
hell
want to
to.
get another one out maybe in November, December, and then one for the end of the year. So you could probably look for at least 2 more before the end of the year, hopefully. And then, knock on wood. And then we'll go from there. If you have any other feedback, you can find us everywhere on the social medias. We got the Twitters, we got the Facebooks, we got the Instagrams. Facebook is your best way, always, to get a hold of us. If you have any questions, please leave us a comment, a feedback, give us a like, give us a star rating. If you don't like us and you think we're poop, tell us why we suck and we'll try to fix it. If you love us, give us a thumbs up. If you think we're weird, that's tough shit.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Because you're right.
You're probably right.
You're real right. For everybody here, my name is Dave.
Jesse.
Chris.
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye. You can find the Pusher Pass podcast at pusherpass.wordpress.com, Instagram.com/pusherpass, Facebook.com/pusherpass, or on Twitter at pusherpass. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
I'm unmentionably fresh, I'm a mensch. Yeah, correct. I will walk into a court while it wrecks, screaming, yes, I am guilty, motherfuckers, I am death.